Hello everyone and welcome back to Derpy Dungeons. This is Yasmo and today we are playing Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden.
Laboratory.
Creepy
Here?
hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
I mean, not many are gonna find this. Too bad for him. I am one of those many.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased.
A hand-drawn map of the Harrows with the initials ER. Two places have been circled, the abandoned mill and God's Acre Cemetery. The veil between the Arulu and the Incarnate seems particularly thin in these two areas. A breach? Obscure demonology writings. Ghostly apparitions can be controlled or at least shepherded with a variety of known rituals. These must be performed with great care lest control be ceded to potentially catastrophic effects. An ill-eligible quotation. If the words of power differ from 0.1 in intensity and appropriate protections are not carefully used, the ghost will appear but will not bend to the demonologist's will. This is to be avoided, on risk of widespread injuries, death, or worse.
This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you.
Of course you did. Alright, so we got a boss fight ahead.
Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void. So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
Everybody would.
Men bonding over bereavement and black magic. A pretty tale indeed.
I should have proceeded with more caution.
You shouldn't have proceeded at all. We have a witch hunt on our hands. You could face trial for this botched ritual.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of De Occulti Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating!
Are you aware of what would happen if people learnt of your studies?
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Will you still say that when Pennington accuses you of witchcraft? You must remember Deborah.
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
Every scientist in history learned the lesson the hard way. You are too, sir.
Are you a demonologist like your father?
More or less. More so. My father sees occultism through the eyeglass of his faith, but I know better. So, more so?
If you don't share your father's faith, what do you believe?
I believe in the afterlife. The proof is about us. And if the void embodies eternal despair, there must too be a place of hope. But where, I ask myself, where?
We find you up to your neck in the blackest magic, speechifying about your transcendent journey. Your life is on the line, Lammy.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them. The very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's Plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now, at first, I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
Can you prove that? Where's your evidence?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Yes, we learned of it in Fort Jericho.
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
Confusion, paralysis. Can you tell me more?
I felt my movement slowing, my thinking too. Space seemed to thicken. But wait, what if it was not space thickening, but time slowing? In recent months, many in New Eden have spoken of similar feelings, of lost time, hours untrackable, days passing unremembered. Who knows how the Araloo disturbs the minds and bodies of women and men? Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. Now, at first, I believe they looked for witchcraft. You see, the Araloo.
By the Araloo, do you mean the Void?
Neither name does it justice. This place is beyond words. The Araloo, Mr. McCraith, is made of the very fabric of our primordial myths. Isn't it amazing? In New Eden,
Yeah,
I believe that first although where there is a substance, it carries a particular
Confusion.
I felt my movement in recent months. Who knows? The Araloo is a formidable. I found an oozing crack.
perhaps.
Would you?
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lammy. But thank you.
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Do you still need to eat? Do you feel hunger? Sorry, it's just you're the first ghost I've met, in person, as it were.
I don't eat. Not in the way you do. I feel hunger. Again, not in the way you do.
Fascinating. And can you touch things, smell them? Are colours the same as you remember them?
My senses are different. It's difficult to describe how. I can see, sometimes touch. I cannot smell. Red tells me this is a blessing.
How do you manifest in this plane? Do you feel bound, or are you here by choice?
It feels as if I were clinging to a rope, high above the abyss. Even if I wished to let go, I could not bring myself to do it.
I see. What about your Banisher skills? Can you use them? Do the accoutrements of your craft still work? As a ghost, do they not harm you?
The marks on my hands and the rings on my fingers aren't actually there. They have no more effect on me than a memory.
Can you talk to any ghost you wish?
No. I sense traces of their presence. To talk to them, I must still do the work.
And yet here I am, talking to you. How marvelous. The dead are rarely as articulate, nor are they accommodating. In fact, they're often quite rude.
We should probably get going. Some other time, then.
But we've merely scratched at the surface of the great mysteries. I mean, look around us. We stand here beyond the ultimate frontier. Sorry. I mean to say, yes, Mistress Duarte.
What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void.
I suppose this is the way to go.
Antea, we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
I was as earnest as he. Ah, the rank enthusiasm of youth. It's sickening, really. I don't know if the paralysis and confusion applies to me, but I feel strange, and I suspect the ooze.
Only one way to find out.
I don't wanna.
Oh, God. I need a wee bit of help here. Well, that was not pleasant. Not pleasant at all.
Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
Where are they?
I don't think so.
Hmm. Where are the ghost wards? Move forward, I suppose. Perhaps that's what I should do. Sorry. Sorry, I put the controller down for a second. Ah!
Missed me?
Always.
I did. Ah! There we are. Yep.
Did we miss a few?
Not gonna stay down. It oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
This is where it was dripping from earlier? Yeah.
Let's see what lies on the other side.
A tuning fork.
Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
Probably near the well itself. That would be my educated guess.
The ooze affects the incarnate, too.
The incarnate.
Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone.
Great. He came
What
out
might
of this
you be,
one
then?
and went in that one.
What was...
Innocence crushed. Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You?
What are you, Mr. Western looking dude? Oh shit.
It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
And fight. No? Holy shit. The save area.
have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty.
Alright then. Collapsed house discovered. Alright, instead of making y'all wait through me leveling everything up here, because that's what I'm about to do, I will skip forward. Ba-da-doom. Okay. I upgraded some gear, I changed some things around. Not a lot, mind you, but it took me about 10 minutes. And now I picked up something better. I never use leap. Cotton Mather's pamphlet. And the woman, being astonished thereat, confessed those things to be true, and that she and the other persons named in the preternatural discourse had had familiarity with the devil. Being asked whether she had made an express covenant with him, she answered she had not, only as she promised to go with him when he called, which accordingly she had sundry times done.
Who's that?
Yes, something's here.
From Amity Gibbs, Providencetown, to Antipas and Clemency Gibbs, the Harrow's New Eden. Dearest parents, Reuben and I are settled here in Providence. Our home is quaint and quite lovely. You would like it, I think, though perhaps you would argue against the colors of the drapes. We attend the meeting house with rigor. The sermon Sunday last was particularly beautiful, and I am certain you would have enjoyed it. Men of piety there are yet in New England. In your last letter you mentioned that the farm has seen some trouble. If God tests you, I am full sure that you will pass his examination. However, should you need it, Reuben will be delighted to make you a loan. We may also consider a visit should you agree to certain stipulations on your behavior and manner of speaking, particularly to Reuben, who deserves neither wheedling nor snide remarks. Your daughter, Amity.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs.
Okay, I hear the little, not that. What I hear, I do not see.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
Fun. Oh, hold up. I thought I was going the opposite way. Gibbs, I thank you for your note. God himself knows times are hard. That you could not honor our last order of grain was understandable. We find ourselves in a similar position, and upon the debts of our last cattle must cancel our next order. Please find and close the balance of your account, which we shall consider closed, at least until better times are come again. God save us all from this curse. Richard Mellons.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money. Something's nearby.
Where is it?
I hear it. Spring, 1695. Expiration, 198. Wall repair, ties, ale and bread, candles, carpenter, wood. Wait, carpenter, wood is two different things, and sundries. Revenue, 80 pieces of 8. Corn, horse meat. Winter, 1695. Exp, 104. Tithes and taxes, ale and bread. Candles and tool repair, seasoned wood. Revenue, 95 pieces of 8. Corn and barley. Autumn, 1694. X 116. Tithes and taxes. Ale and bread, candles, meat, tool repair, harvest hams. Revenue, 152 pieces of 8. Corn, barley, and vegetables. Summer, 1694. X 105. Tithes and taxes, ale and bread, candles, meat. Revenue, 275 pieces of 8. Corn, barley, vegetable seeds. Spring of 1694. X 102, tithes and taxes, ale and bread. Revenues 120 pieces of 8, vegetables, seeds, and tempered wood.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
That was Deborah. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
Yeah, but we already knew that.
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, hit like. If you would like to see more, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.